Hello everyone. It is getting freezing, cold, and a little bit rainy and a little bit wet and out there. So I thought for a change, why not sit and just speak of a story for everyone to hear and for the kids, and so they can all gather around here and just grab a chair and then just sit next to me. And I'm gonna about to tell you one story. Yesterday I was passing by a store and it was saying that the best things in life don't start the best stories in life don't start by eating a salad. And I don't want to say what it was saying after that, but many of you maybe you know what it said after this, the message what it want to say. For me, the best message can come after we eat the salad. The best message can come after we eat some really green, fresh food. It's a story of that one can choose to believe or not. It's a story that I feel to share with you right now, and I invite you also to add your pieces in the link below. If you have some pieces, I'm sure that you will be able to complete the pieces. We are all completing each other. We are different expressions of love, completing each other. So I invite you vividly to, when you, if you take the time to I want to make it as short as possible. I don't think it's going to be so short. So so let's begin for the beginning. So maybe you can take some tea. I got some tea with me here. So cheers. So once upon a time, there was a community, a beautiful community that was happening many thousands of years ago. And this beautiful community of people, of beings, they were happily living together, happily doing their activities of love, and happily living with each other. And they were very strong, and they had incredible powers. And the powers they had, it was not just about the powers that we know today. It was much more amazing powers. These beings, they were able to move things with their vision. Yes, telekinesis. They were able to speak through the thoughts, telepathy. They were able to create things, to precipitate things, anything they wanted, just right in front of them, just by asking, and then just getting into this visualization process, and then manifesting it. Anything they wanted. If they want to have a few bananas, they say, okay, I want to have some bananas, boom, the bananas appear in front of you. I want to have some chocolate appears in front of you. They had this amazing powers, among many other powers. And I'm not speaking just about powers that lifting up objects that are of small weight. I'm talking about lifting up objects of rocks, big rocks, huge rocks. That was some of their abilities. There were other abilities too. There were some of them that could fly, for example. They could levitate. Many other activities. And in this universe, they were also living with, among other animal beings, unicorns, and everything was harmoniously living with each other. All the animals were friends with each other. They could speak to each other. The waters were speaking also to the people, and everything was very, very invigorating. Everything was in nature made in a way that was very invigorating. Just a glass of water and voila, it's incredible. You could feel right away the well-being into this. And so, as they were going by their days and living happily, one day, out of the blue, just like that, appeared another community of beings from another reality, from another dimension, from another space-time reality, from another galaxy, far away. They knew the existence of this beautiful planet, which by the way was planet Earth. And these beings I'm speaking about, that they were living like that, they were the Terrans, the amazing Terrans, the amazing human beings, Terrans, that they were very high also, because they had amazing abilities, and they were very high in the height as well. So came these other beings from another galaxy on the planet. And without going into all the stories that I hear out there, because there is many stories that come from all over the places, giving us more or less a description of what took place, I just got straight to the point. And what happened is that these other beings that come, somehow they managed to manipulate these beautiful beings, these beautiful human beings. They manipulated them with a different way of powers, and they had the power to manipulate their DNA, their genetic code, because into the genetic code is all these powers of telepathy, of telekinesis, of teleportation, of replicating things, of flying, of anything that your mind even today may conceive and may think it's a dream. Anything that mind can imagine, these beings could achieve through their DNA, because the DNA was a perfected human DNA, able to activate any reality that one wants to realize. As simple as that. It was just one with everything, one with God, one with the universe, one of being the power. And I'm not speaking just about one being, I'm speaking about all the population of this community of Terrans living on the planet. So, we don't know the reasons why this happened. It happened for some reason. Something happened, and then these other beings came on the planet, and they managed to intermingle with this beautiful race, this beautiful angelic race of beings, of Terrans, and they managed to make these beings to lower their vibration, to get down in more darker places. And so this happened not just today, tomorrow. This happened through the course of the years, through the course of generations. We're speaking now of 350,000 years ago. Many speak of millions of years ago. We don't want to believe in the end, but just a story, it's a story, and one can choose to resonate with what I say or just listen to the story. I think it's a beautiful story to be said. After all that we hear out there, all the things coming out to us, I think this is one beautiful story to sit down and listen. Maybe there is some truth in that, maybe there is a bit more truth in that, maybe less truth in that. One is always free to choose to follow the story I'm speaking here, or to just stop this channel and just go and see something else. As simple as that. Very simple. So to continue with my story, these beings that came from another galaxy, they had some very dark intentions in comparison with all these beings. They came on the planet because on this planet, planet Earth, because on their planet they had no more resources. They had nothing left. They had nothing that could sustain them. And they came on this planet here because there was some richness on this planet, planet Earth. There was some abundance and some incredible prosperity on the planet that happened also through the respect of everything, the respect of Mother Nature and the love between the people, the exchange between the community of the Terrans and Mother Earth, and the respect of the love of the being one with God and being in the unknowingness of us and expanding in this. And so these beings came on the planet to steal some of these resources. And through their own means, through their own abilities, through their own evolved ways, they have been allowed, because it was free will, to interfere into the life of these beings. Because normally there is a galactic codex, that you may believe or not, a galactic federation codex among all the planets, that no race can interfere in the evolution of another race. It's not possible to do that. This is a galactic codex. But it happens. And so what finally happened is that these beings that came from another planet, I don't want to give them any names, they call them the Anunnaki, there is other names too. Anyways, it doesn't matter the names. The story is that they managed to manipulate human DNA, and they managed to bring this DNA very low, from 12 double-stranded DNA to bring it 24-stranded DNA, to 12 double-stranded DNA to bring it to 2. And then we had today, when the scientific speak about everything, they speak about, hey, we have 2 strands of DNA and everything else is junk DNA. And so, during the course of all these years, thousands of years, I'm speaking here, humans, they were into a deep slavery under these other beings, and without knowing it. Why? Because imagine, you are a being that has the power to create things out of the blue. And then somehow something happens, some catastrophe happens on this planet, you disappear, you don't exist anymore your soul exists because the soul never dies, but the body doesn't exist anymore. Yes, the body is gone because there came many catastrophes in this course of these thousands of years. We speak about five of them. 5 of them, the earth got destroyed, and now we are in the sixth try, let me say like that. Yes. And so, while this was taking place during the course of the years, continually we have been descending down the spiral into the human bodies, not the soul, the human bodies. The human bodies have been going down into descension. And of course, forgetting all our abilities from generation over generation over generation over generation. All the abilities that we had, all the power that we had of creating amazing things just with the power from our connection, from alignment with our divine source, our God within, we forgot all the abilities we have. Very simple. And by forgetting these abilities, what happened? There was the matrix that was being created. While on the one hand, we still remain these beautiful, mighty, powerful souls, being the love from one side, on the other side, being in this body that is now not aligned with this connection with the one, with God, the soul connection, being only focalized in what's happening around and being also hypnotized by many, many different ways from these other beings for thousands of years, of course. The humans, the Terrans, these amazing beings, the Terrans, they start also to shrink and become smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. It's like this movie you see where they get these tools and they can shrink the beings and make them really small. Well, this happens also with consciousness, as we can learn from other books as well. But this is another subject that maybe one day I want to speak about this. But for the moment, let's stay on this. So stringing will come to where the human bodies look today. Okay? And so the souls keep on coming inside. And what happened? These original beings, they could live for very, very long time. They could live for thousands of years, 1,000 or maybe more. They could choose if we just can leave this body and go to another body and everything. Today, like last century, let's say, the average of life of people living with the planet was around 70 years, right? 70 years. And now it's starting to get higher a little bit. This is a good sign. We have like countries like China that they think that they can raise the hope for life to 99. What I know is that we can live up to 1,000 years again in these bodies as I speak. So this body here, I know it is ready to live 1,000 years. Hey, you don't have to choose to believe anything I say. It's a story, and you can always choose to resonate or not with it. And so, coming back now to the story, what the story is that we came into these bodies as souls. We incarnated in these bodies many times, and we experienced many times we had to die in these bodies many times because, of course, the human beings in these thousands of years, they forgot who they are, they forgot who we are, and of course they start believing into this cycle of incarnation and believing that they die and they go somewhere and they come back, and then this happened many thousands of years for the only purpose of slavery, of using our energies for means that is of more evolved consciousness that we cannot understand. We cannot understand also back then beings that act behind a certain veil of energy, if you want to put it like this. And they have been allowed to do so. Why? Well, this is the story a little bit of love, let's say. Yeah, the story of the power of love. And the power of love is the mightiest strength in the universe. And during the course of all these years, as souls, every time, every incarnation you come into a certain body, whether it is a woman, a man, it is said that we lived all lives in many different realities, in all different sexes, and all different ages, and all different experiences. And so, as souls who chose to experience these different levels of existence. And so today, after 5 times that humanity tried through many incarnations to make it happen, to prove also that there is nothing stronger than the power of love, and many beings came on the planet, many ascended beings now. I can mention a few, like Krishna, I can mention Buddha, I can mention Christ. All of them came with their own messages, own particular messages on the planet. They were human beings, they lived their lives, and then they managed to ascend in a higher level of consciousness and leave their bodies and go. The only difference is today, the same thing that these masters did, the same thing that these ascended masters did. I'm just mentioning a few. There are many other of them. A lot of female too. Not to forget that it's not just the male; it's also the females. Mary Magdalene. There is Kuan Yin. There is so many. There is Saint Germain. There is countless beings. And so today the story goes like this. In this time now moment, the power of love is coming so intensely from Mother, Father, God, that it is impossible anymore for these other beings to stop this process. Why? Why now? This is something that, again, goes with galactic law. There is like a moment in the story of evolution, a moment where we, as a collective, human collective, are reaching a state of consciousness, a collective unity of consciousness, a vibration, a collective frequency, a vibration that sends out a signal to the divine that we are finally there, proving that there is nothing stronger than the power of love. And hence, while all this time we can say we have always been helped, we have always had our guides with us, there was always have been divine presence, we have always lived our lives one way or another, there have been always happy moments and sad moments. Today, where we stand in this change of awareness that takes place, that you can witness all around us, this is like witnessing for the moment this clearing of all these older energies, these old energies that no longer serve nothing anymore, because they served at the moment. Each one of them served to live this experience of separation. Now that we're becoming aware again of the power of connecting, of being in alignment with the one source, the divine source, within our heart, in the now moment, in every now moment, this is a unified effort. This does not happen just human beings do the effort. This is a work between the divine company of heaven, these beings up there that we are part, our soul comes from, and here in this now, we come together and with active work and participation and collective work, we are activating this door and we're activating the collective consciousness, something that our mind may not be able to conceive, and yet proving that love is the mightiest power in the universe. There is nothing more stronger than love. And the love that we find within our hearts, the love that we find within ourselves, loving each part of who we are, even our own mistakes that we did, loving everything allows us to love all. Okay, let me say this like this a little bit to be clear about this. Loving all does not mean liking all. Okay, you may love beings and people around that send them love, and sometimes, yes, there can be a lot of disagreements between all human beings, because you see, we still here experiencing separation, yet there is always a reason that you can always send love. And the power of sending love, even to the situations that do not go with what is that we want, is the proof that we have shifted into this awareness of unconditional love. Because true love is unconditional. True love does not know conditions. True love means that if today I will tell you no, you will accept my no with love. And true love means that also if, for example, something happens and you do something, if I'm really aligned with myself, I am not going to be triggered, because anything that you may say or do is only a boomerang coming back to you. And anything I say and do and react and the way I feel, it's a boomerang coming back to me. Because the way we feel, the vibration, the way we feel, it is the vibration. The way I feel, if I manage to feel in the now joy, to feel in the now love, to feel in the now peace within me, to feel in the now harmony within me, to really set the intention for this is what I feel. I feel it in the now. And the more one practices this exercise, the more one becomes aware of the power of creation through vibration. And so we are in this moment in history of humanity where more and more of us, more and more of many souls incarnate in these bodies, human beings, we start to remember little by little, by small things, the power that we once had. Yes, this is exactly what these beings, the so-called dark beings, didn't want us to remember. Yet we also have to remember something that came from the Pleiadians not a long time ago, that the matrix that we have created and believing in certain things, it's also part of our creation. So in a way, because we are one with God, one with the Creator, who is that creating this separation, this matrix of separation of the dark and the good and the bad ones? It's us. It's each one of us. So by the end of the day, if one takes the time to go within and love the self, and really love the self, yes, and embrace all parts, then one may love all, the dark and the good, and send forgiveness, and send love, and truly appreciate the effect that comes out of that. Because when one truly feels love, then everything else also in the reality of this person that feels all the time love within, it's being reflected all around. So the universe of this person changes. And so today there may be a lot of beings that work in this way, creating a universe of their own reflection. And you have other beings who are not in this way of this level of consciousness, but they need to wake up. So you have these beings that they are like full of love and manifesting all these beautiful realities around them, and you have others beings that manifest a lot of other scenarios that may not be so bright, let me say like that. You know, may be more difficult situations. It's all about the question of the dimensions in between playing, the timelines playing, of how much one understands the power of alignment, of being the one with God, with the love, with the one, with the universe, with the all that is. And, well, the story goes on like this now. It's a non-ending story because we don't know what's going to happen in 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. But if I like to have a guess, and I like to make a little bit of prognostics, not that I'm a prophet, I don't consider myself a prophet, but I like to make like a little bit of prognostics for the, let me say, the 2020, 2030 that is coming. These numbers, very, very, very nice numbers coming up. I want to say that I believe that we will see like incredible changes in a way that that was built up in a three-dimensional way will all collapse, and it will all shift in a much more bright scenarios. We're gonna be able to see more connection from humanity with nature, with Mother Earth. We're gonna be able to see technologies finally released for the highest good for all. We're gonna be able to see free energy devices. We're gonna be able to see a lot of electric vehicles going out in the streets. We're gonna be able to see technologies that are really in service for medical devices that are able to heal the bodies, and then the hope of life goes in much higher levels. And you're gonna be able to have like a change in the consciousness of each and every human being about understanding the power of being of service for the highest good for all. This is the only thing that can survive in this reality. I don't wanna say survive, I wanna say thrive, because thriving means about feeling the joy one is and then being of service out of joy and being there. And so thriving for me means that we'll be able in a few years to eradicate all poverty on the planet, to have medical assistance for free for everybody on the planet, have basic income, a universal basic income for everybody on the planet. We're going to be able to have abundance and prosperity for everybody. There's not going to be one human being on the planet that is not going to be cared for and being really getting to come closer to understanding the power of what is really taken within our bodies. So the process of human evolution that is happening now in a very accelerated way. A process that has begun a long time ago, that has been activated again in a much stronger way since December 2012, 21st December 2012, I believe so. And we are now 7 years in this transition period, and then all this purification, this final purification is happening, and then we are ready to go on 2013. Like I say, do a little bit of warming in the hands and put the hands to the mat and work together as one and create the beginning of the new earth, the beginning of the golden age, the beginning of abundance and prosperity and well-being for all and rejuvenation and the discovering the connection with our galactic brothers and sisters, and also now it's time to speak about this as well, because I wanted to make like a little parenthesis before, but I believe also it's important to speak about hollow earth beings, because there are our brothers and sisters. They're not just up there, they're also inside the earth. There are many beings living inside the earth, the hollow earth beings. There is the inner earth beings and the hollow earth beings. And I always like to speak about elephants and with red nails and unicorns and everything. I really believe in them. I believe in fairies. I believe in all beings. I believe in the power of dreaming and that everything is pink. Pink is the color of unconditional love. And yeah, so it's very nice to live in these times, I believe. And once you start to really resonate with this feeling within and understand how this is activating things in your life, I believe then what is left to do is just to follow the inner guidance, the guidance coming from within that is really guiding everything, and it's working for the highest good for all, because it's working for the highest good for all, but through joy. There is no things that I have to do something because I have to do or I have to work. And it's also happening while at the same time understanding the power of self-love and the power of respecting our body, because this body now that is now changing, becoming from carbon-based to crystalline-based cells, it's really very beautiful, and it's very important to respect it and listen to it and rest and do all the things that is necessary. And because it's like getting a new car with all these new options, so this body has so many options that we need to take care of it in order to discover them little by little and remember again the incredible race that we once have been, the Terrans. And so I wish you a happy celebration. By the way, Christ was not born on Christmas, but you celebrate here love, and love is what matters, and love with your families, with your loved ones. Your family can also does not have to be just the family that you call Papa, Mama, and brother. Maybe you have another kind of family that is also the one right for you. And so it's like a family, the human family, wherever you are on the planet. I wish you to have a really happy celebration and happy 2020. 2020 decade coming might mean not always be so happy. You have to maybe do some work, like always. Yeah, there's going to be always some things, but I believe it's all about focusing on connecting with the joy within and being the love from within out, and everything else will just fall in place. And I'm just also discovering my powers. So like you do, I'm just in the beginning of this journey of fifth-dimensional reality. So it's very exciting. Okay, so this is my story. I wish you well, and speak again when it's time to speak again. Much love.